Okay, this is for the word problems with multiplication or division of integers from the Real Numbers PySlice in Alex. So we first need to read the directions, answer the questions below. Note that a change can be either an increase or a decrease. So for an increase, we are going to use a positive integer. For a decrease, we're going to use a negative integer. So positive, increase, negative, decrease. So that's the first thing that we should establish when we're reading through these. So let's take a look at A. Ivana owns 64 shares of a certain stock. Yesterday, the value of each share went up by $8. What was the total change in value of her shares? So right there in the second sentence, it says yesterday the value of each share went up by $8. So that's going to be an increase. So we're going to want to make sure that we use a positive integer. All right, so now let's analyze what the problem is asking. 64 shares of a certain stock. So she starts with 64 shares. Yesterday, the value of each share, that's important, so each share went up by $8. So it went up by $8 per share. So if she started with 64 shares, and each share went up by $8, so $8 per share, that means that in order to figure out how much the total change in value was, we're going to need to multiply 64 shares by $8 per share. This way, our shares cancel out and we're left with just a monetary value. Okay, so just money. So 64 times 8. So we can either do that math by hand or we can switch over to Desmos and we can do it that way. So if I take 64 shares times $8 per share, that gives me a total of $512. So 64 times 8 is $512. So that takes care of the first one. Let's take a look at the second one. A private club was reduced by 72 members in 8 weeks. So right there from the start, it says reduced. So if this says reduced, that means that it went down, and we're going to use a negative number. Okay, so there's definitely a decrease if it's being reduced by 72 members in 8 weeks. So 72 members in 8 weeks. Its size changed by the same number of members each week. What is the change in the club size each week? So 72 members per 8 weeks means that we're going to have to divide to get the number of members that were reduced per week. So 72 divided by 8 is 9. So that means that it was reduced 9 members per week.